A few weeks ago, I made the video and I said, hey, I just saw the Beetlejuice musical. Well, I'm kind of a theater kid now. I just saw Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Here's my review of it. In New York, on New York. I saw it in Broadway on New York Street. It was pretty spectacular. So obviously, if you don't know pretty much the gist of this thing, it is a sequel. That's right, sequel to Harry Potter, the franchise, the movies. I guess they never really specify if it's more of a sequel to the films or the books. That's interesting. I could see that making a difference. Follows Harry's son, Albus, even though the play's called Harry Potter. Harry Potter's still like one of the main characters though. He's like the third main character in this thing. The play follows his son Albus and his new adventure into Hogwarts, except this one kind of sucks. His adventure into Hogwarts, his experience, not like the play. Obviously some goofball stuff goes down. He becomes friends with Malfoy's son, Scorpius. That's crazy. Drama. And the two get into a pretty interesting plot of time travel. That's right, this is a time travel story, ladies and gentlemen. And let's start with the story. It has been released as a screenplay, so a lot of people who have not had the opportunity to see the play, that is their experience with the story, reading the screenplay. And I've heard from a lot of these people saying, you know, if you just read it, it's not that good. And I could completely understand that. I think that some plays, some musicals, they are going to slap pretty much regardless. I think Hamilton is like the gold standard, and I know it's different because it's a sung through musical. It's different. Hamilton, I think, is pretty damn hard to mess up. It's that good. The source material is that good. This play though, this story though, I think is very contingent on the cast that it has. And it's hard because in the play setting, a lot of it is very character driven. A lot of it is these big character moments. And I don't want to spoil too much of the play, but there are some really good character moments between the original three, although not as many as I would have liked, you know, Harry, Ron, Hermione, but there are some really good ones between Ron and Hermione, Harry and his son, and then obviously the big dynamic of this thing in Albus and Scorpius. Heck, dude, even Malfoy gets in on the action. He's here too. The story, I would say I enjoyed. I know some people said that it feels kind of like fanfic, and I understand that, but I also think that that's always going to have kind of that element when you see new actors in the realm and they're like, oh, okay, this is the canon version, but none of the actors are the same. I think that's kind of just a likely side effect of, you know, that's not Daniel Radcliffe, that's some other guy. But I do think that's where the story actually shines through the best, not when it gets too tied up in the time travel, not when it gets too tied up in like the specifics. I'll get into my main gripe with the story, which is pretty annoying later, but that's where the story shines, in these character moments, and the actors are very important to that because the source material itself needs to be sold really well. Just it existing isn't going to sell itself. It has to be presented really well, and like I said, the actors did pretty good for the most part. Two actors who I want to shout out in particular from the playbill. Let's read some papers, shall we? Eric Christopher Peterson. There's his Instagram. Threw him up right there. He played Scorpius Malfoy. Holy crap. This dude was dynamic. Never thought that a Malfoy guy would be so funny, but dude, this guy was so good. And again, I have no frame of reference. This isn't like a musical, which I think is kind of nice. There's no frame reference to the original audience. You know, I watch Beetlejuice, I can say, that's not Alex Brightman. That's not Sophia and Crusoe. Here, this guy is Scorpius Malfoy. I have no preconceptions about what this character is. This guy was a blast, dude. He's so good. He's hilarious when he needs to be hilarious, but he's also pretty serious when it's time to do that. I didn't have like amazing seats or anything like that. I had decent seats, but still you could feel his energy without it being like over the top theater. I don't like when they're like over the top. I gotta be a crazy person. I gotta be a crazy person because it's theater. I don't like when they do that. I thought this guy hit the perfect balance. The next one, performance of the play for me. My whole group agreed. Minor spoiler, if you don't want to know anything, of course she's in the thing. It's Moaning Myrtle. Man, the performance of the show, like I said, I think Moaning Myrtle, this performance, I'm gonna say it, this might be an insane take, better in this play than in the actual movies. No disrespect to the movies, but like, dude, she's so fun in this. The performance was so good. It's so kinetic, dude. I just wanted her to never leave. I was having so much fun with Moaning Myrtle, which is insane to say. I understand that. She played it in not such a like kind of a creepy way like in the movies. I'm always kind of like, I feel kind of like invaded in the movies, like I just feel uncomfortable, you know, like when you're like changing in front of your gym teacher. That's how I feel in front of Moaning Myrtle in movies. But here, dude, she's a blast. She's a riot. She's cracking everyone up. I'm cracking up. She's like spinning around in this bathroom thing. Woo! Throwing up all these poses, you know, doing the LeBron, doing the Kobe. Probably not, but like, it was just so much fun, so much energy. There was one performance I didn't like so much in the production, and it was kind of like important. And that's kind of like what I said. I think that a very strong performance in a very important role can kind of fall apart, make certain scenes not hit, and that's why it's important. But let's talk about those effects, baby, those special effects. That's what everyone says. Everyone always says, The Cursed Child, the play's all right, the story's all right, but the effects are crazy. It's really impressive. It is a perfect mix of like sleight of hand magic tricks, not even sleight of hand, just magic in general, with just genuinely insanely smart stage choreography and stage design to make this thing so many times. What the hell? How'd they do that? When they're actually casting spells, it looks like they're actually casting spells, and they never try to overstep themselves. There's a time they do a charm, and they know they can't make charm look 100% authentic, real, and I appreciated that they're like, okay, let's tone this back a little bit. We'll still make it impressive as hell, but we're not gonna push ourselves to where it's like, okay, there's the strings, you know, there's the error, there's the guy in the puppet suit behind. Look at me, I'm a doe. I really appreciated that. The effects, worth it to see alone. They do Dementors in this thing. Holy crap, dude. The water scene in this thing. Holy crap, again, dude. It's just so impressive. It's so insane to see. I think it's gonna like start to travel more soon. The show, if you're a Harry Potter fan, if you like just stagecraft, go see it for the effects alone. The villain, though, kind of whack. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna cap to you. Didn't like him that much. But that's that. I also heard that this is kind of a smushed up version of the 2 plays. It was 2 plays originally in London, and now it's kind of like a 1. Let's smush it together. So scenes are going to get cut, and I think some of them are kind of felt because some characters, some important characters, feel underdeveloped. Some feel kind of like shelved away for whatever reason. It's like, okay, they're really important in the first 20 minutes. Now let's never talk about them ever again. I think if they do adapt this to the movie, they gotta be careful about it. I think there are some scenes that can really be improved, but there are some things too that, you know, if we're taking away the magic of the special effects, that's probably gonna be a hit to the story too, because that's a lot of the wow factor in this thing right now. And no matter how good the CGI is, even if it's Avatar Way of Water, I don't think it's gonna hit that I don't think it'll hit that same wow factor that the effects in this play do. Still though, I enjoyed it. Was it better than Beetlejuice? It's kind of hard to say. Thanks so much for watching. New videos every single day. Pretty much. I've been gone. I was out of town. I was in New York. I did really good though. I uploaded like 5 over the last, while I was gone. That's pretty impressive. Thanks so much for watching. Hit subscribe. I'll talk to you later. Try and hit 1,000 subscribers.